Okay. And then I'm gonna check on Royal Clan.
All right.
All right, now you talk. Like, just
Testing,
say stuff.
testing.
I have to get off Discord. Okay, I think it's working. Yeah, I'm not watching a stream anymore. So now I can just talk to you without overhearing it. Just say some stuff.
I could. Should I stop streaming on Discord? Let me close the. All right. Hello, testing.
Yeah, no, I think it works. All right, we're good to go. Let me rename this. AOE3 Team Game Cast. Team Game Cast. And we'll put a new player. Oh, GkShaman. Hello. Hey, you homes. We're actually live on Twitch, so chat with you later. All right. So I'm gonna lock this channel.
Okay.
And we'll make it perfect. All right. For the folks in chat, can you guys tell us if our voices are okay? Eric, if you want to talk a bit,
Hello,
and I'll talk a
testing.
bit.
Can you hear me? Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Awesome. And I'll text one or two people on Twitch. All right, we already have 5 viewers. Great. This is awesome. Do you have the team game? Perfect. Do you have the team game loaded up?
Yep.
It's between folks in Royal, Genesis, Thundermat, and Joshua. With what do the two names mean for France and Portugal?
France. It means like farmers when they die, they cannot be revived.
Okay.
Sort of like that meaning. And
And,
the Portuguese one, I'm not sure what it means.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Good to know. And then Carson, I don't know if that has a meaning, but yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And he's playing Mexico. Are you so for the folks in chat, Eric? Do you want to tell them what we're doing tonight, or what are we doing today?
All right. So today we're gonna cast this game. Team Royal, Genesis, Matt. Matt is actually on his Smurf account here. This is a ranked game, and Matt, his main account is like at rank number 1, Team Yellow. It's around 3,000 Team Yellow. But this is on his Smurf. So yeah. And for the opponents, I've looked up their like Team Yellow is around 1900 for like the average Yellow for the opponents. Their team,
Okay.
they have a clan. It's the top clan, TOP clan. So it's
Okay.
basically it's the top clan versus royal clan. Yeah,
Okay. There
yeah.
we go. Um, and
So
for the folks in chat, we're doing this stream to be more favorable to Asia and Australia times. Most of our streams end up favoring 18 to 22 GMT, which is very America and Europe favored. but we wanted to occasionally do some streams because it's World Cup time in favoring the Asia and Australia regions. So glad you could join us, and I hope you guys enjoy this start. Eric, if you can stream to me on Discord the game, because I know there's a delay on Twitch, so I don't want to
Okay.
remark on things late. That would be best. Perfect.
Alright. Got it.
All right, and let me just post this in announcements as well. Come watch a team game between.
Oh, should I also add the... Let me see. Would this
If you
be
want to
better?
post in the Asian server, go
I
for it.
added a layer on top of the timestamp stuff.
Yes,
Yes,
please
I
do
got
that.
it. Yeah, I did it. Can
Okay.
you... Is it blocked now?
Yes, it is
Okay,
blocked.
okay.
And you want to put maybe another text box on the bottom right saying that casted by a new player and GK. If that's easy to do. If it's hard to do in OBS, don't worry about it.
Uh,
But if you could put like a very simple label or just even the R logo. But if it's too much, we can skip it.
I've never done that before.
Okay, yeah,
How do I...
no worries. Let's just jump into it. Let's jump into it.
Alright, okay. Alright, let's start then.
Okay.
Alright, so spawning at the top, we have Genesis playing as the Portuguese, is Josh playing as Dutch, and Matt playing as the Swedes. And then on the opposite side of the map, we have French player, and we have the Carlson playing as Mexicans, and also he has a Portuguese player teammate. Alright, so this map is, I think it's Carillion Lakes. So land is very scarce. There's a lot of these frozen lakes scattered around the map. And in the middle, like, there are only 3 strategic points. One on the left, the center, and then one at the bottom right. There's a trading post line running across the map. There's 4 trading posts. And then there's also some natives. You can make some native
Oh, the Jagalians are
archers
here.
and some
Wow.
lancers. Yep, sorry.
No, it was just I totally forgot the natives were in this. That adds a very interesting element to this. And one thing to note for the viewers, there's a lot of ice. So it's not the easiest to wall map. Sometimes there's just a part you can't wall and the enemy units can walk across.
Alright, let's check their decks. So I think, yeah, French is building early market to get hunting dogs. He's got only 23 cards. So,
Oh wow.
so I think that's a little bit of display. I think he's going Cav, Musketeers. I don't think he's going natives. He doesn't have any native cards. Yeah. And then check on Matt. Matt might go letter cannons, Carillions. Let's check on the Portuguese player. I think a mix of units. Cazadors, Goons, and maybe organ guns as well. He got the grip shot, so this will increase the rate of fire for organ guns. Yeah. Josh, skirmishers. He's got triple. Oh, he's got 4 upgrade cards for skirmishers. Yeah, this is definitely an FI deck. So he might revolt in between. Yeah, he's gonna revolt, I guess. He's got like 9 cards in H4. I think he's going Chanakos. He's got a lot of upgrade cards for it, and also he's got this card where Haciendas spawn Haciendas. And
Or they spawn Chanakas, you're saying, right?
yeah, Haciendas spawn Chanakos, sorry. Yeah.
Perfect. For the folks in chat, one thing to recommend or remind everyone, I guess, since this is a team game, these decks are going to look very different than 1v1 decks. And that's intentional. Whenever you play a team game, especially with Royal and, Thundermat or Genesis, understand that they love to boom and that they might take a really long time. Like, they will take a long way to go. So, a lot of these players know this. That's why their decks either have very few unit shipments or only unit shipments in H4 or H3. The more powerful unit shipments, essentially. So, it's very interesting to see that. Can you show the Portuguese decks, actually, one real time? Is there a big difference between the two? That's what I'm wondering.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's roughly a bunch of upgrades,
A
eco,
lot of
everything.
eco upgrades and also the unit upgrade cards for
Yep.
the Chinese player.
And
And
then for Genesis,
Genesis,
yeah, roughly the same.
yeah, roughly the same.
A
I want to
few more
see
units. Yeah.
their TC placement is very important. So I like
Yeah.
Genesis. He's placing the second TC to secure. That's a lot of food.
Yeah.
Yeah, securing this hunt and also like guarding this
Mine.
mine. Yep. I think they're playing. I don't. It's okay. So they don't have a forward base. Their Rax is home basing. Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
the purple took a forward TP. That was interesting as a Portugal player.
yeah, so it's a good thing. Like it could deny the enemy to take this trading post, and also it gets line of sight in the center.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a very strategic position. But I don't know about this TC. I think it could like go further, like maybe guard this coin mine or somewhere here, so to take more map control and line of sight. Yeah, so that's my opinion. It's very good positioning. The market sort of like a wall to defend this coin mine for this player.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Everyone here is just kind of defensive base building,
yeah.
which I find.
Everybody, yeah, is home basing. Interesting. So French and Mexican, they're both dropping down stable. So I guess they're doing like a semi FFs. 5 Hus doing some raids. Yep. Got some raids on Genesis.
Well, but he's not paying attention. He's gonna lose a husk for free. Oh, and the Caroleans came to defend.
Yes.
Wow. Good team cohesion there by Royal.
Yep. I mean, maybe he could use the scouts like go around behind. Because there's a lot of resources at the back. Like when you start to run out of resources around your TC, then usually people will go up to the back. So if you just
Yeah.
sneak this one at the back, so it will be easier to use scout and get more rates. Alright, so when Caroleans they get in melee mode, they don't have the multiplier against Cav. So actually it's a good trade when the Cav could get on top of the Caroleans.
Yeah, that's one thing about Caroleans that a lot of players at the beginning had a hard time getting used to. They aren't traditional muskets.
The Cav, they spotted
So,
Matt's villager, they didn't kill it. I think he's using this villager to build torps, I guess. He's just that
yeah.
the wood. Yeah, let's check him out.
Can we get a Vil count check between Genesis and the other port? His Genesis has been idled and raided quite a bit now.
Alright, so the Chinese guy has 20 vills. Genesis has 22. So Genesis have two
Okay.
more of those.
Okay, then purple really needs to make more vills. That's yeah, both are H3, but
Okay, so Genesis sending 1,000 wood. Alright, very good micro there. The French player using Cav to snare the Dragoons, so the remaining Cav could survive and pull back. Otherwise, he will lose almost the entire batch of Cav.
yeah.
I think maybe Genesis could split the Dragoons into two groups and then raid at the French and also at the same time raid the Portuguese player. It's alright. Alright, I wonder what's up there up to. Okay, so they're making Castadors to counter the Dragoons. That's the correct answer to it. A lot of Raxes. Okay, purple has got the organ guns. So I guess there's a timing push.
Yeah.
Alright, meanwhile, Matt is trying to take down this trading post. But they don't see the organ guns yet. Okay, so they might be in trouble if they got a volley on the Crowleys. Alright, very good call, pulling it back. Might need Cav or Culverins to deal with the organ guns. Alright, Genesis is sending his own organ guns. Okay, good. Josh switching his units to stagger mode. So when the organ guns like fire at them, they won't be like grouped together. So they won't receive that much damage when they're scattered out. Alright, so what is the other team doing? Alright, they decided not to push, but instead siege down the torps. There's not a lot of anti-cav units, so if Genesis team have cav, it could wipe this entire army out. The French is going skirmishers. Alright, Carson has reached age 4, so let's check what card will he send. Sending the advanced factory. He's got 6 haciendas, so I think he might send this card and then start spawning Chanacos out very soon. You might want to get a second factory out before sending. Nope, he's got this Chanaco card, so it buffs the attack damage by 10% and also it gives them a lance charge.
Wow. That's good.
Yeah. I think he could build one more. Yeah, he could build one more hacienda somewhere. Very good. Taking map control. Putting a TC next to natural resources, the hunts, coin mine, the trees. Maybe I prefer like to build it somewhere here. It might be better. But it's fine. Let's fight. I think Josh should use his skirmishers to shoot better because they have a low siege damage and big 14 siege damage. This micro by French player. Okay, Genesis pushing in with his organ guns. Very good. Switching to stagger mode. Castors. Yeah, the problem is that this composition is double skirmishers. They are very vulnerable to cav. The organ guns should shoot the castles instead of sieging. Just like a Carillion siege.
It's really interesting here, though, that Josh is holding off 2 armies, essentially, for this moment. Just so the others could siege down that TC. What are the unit stats on Josh's units right now? Has he sent any upgrades?
Let's check.
It's just skirmisher versus skirmisher. And he has far less.
So far, he hasn't sent any upgrade cards.
Okay. Yeah, so he's definitely dead here. Oh, but then Genesis comes to reinforce.
Yep.
Wow! Genesis must have upgraded some units. I feel like. Yeah, his goons have plus 81.
Yeah, he sent the
Dragoon
Dragoon
combat.
combat. Yeah.
That is a good card for Portugal.
I think he should also upgrade the tech in the arsenal. It gives him +2 range and also attack damage. It's only 12 range now. It could like be boosted to 14 range. Then he could like kite musketeers. But the enemy doesn't have any musketeers, so that's alright.
Yeah, most forget that Dragoon range is increased by that tech. It's not just like a HP boost, it's a range boost, which is big, you know, for a ranged unit. So right now, for folks in chat tuning in, this is the Royal Clan. We are casting a 3v3 between Team Royal and the top clan. And as you can see by now, this is 15 minutes in. It's kind of a mirror match with double ports and the other 2 civs, you know, being Sweden and Dutch versus France and Mexico. And it's really interesting to see unit comps. Obviously, both Portuguese have strong Dragoon and organ gun capabilities, but let's see how these 2 other civs make the difference. And so right now we see a pretty big raid coming down on the, I guess, the north or the south side. And Genesis Dragoon Mass is quite fearsome at this moment. But, oh, Thundermat is being mowed down by Skirms and now Chnakas. But Genesis is getting quite a few raids in. After quite a bit of idle time, they decide to retreat.
Alright, so the Royal Clan has done a very strategic maneuver. So he sent 1 unit to harass in the south, and then another group of units to harass in the west. So the enemy needs to react. They should also split into 2 groups to deal with it, but if they don't know how to deal with it, they just send all units to the south. Then they're very weak on the west. So that's why they lost a lot of villages there. And the units arrived so late. Alright, the Chinacos, I think they have sent the card. Let me check. Yeah, he sent this card and now it has like 1.0 extra damage to infantry units. So now it's a real answer. So it counters heavy infantry as well.
Oh, I see. That's why he felt so comfortable going into that massive Carolean skirm. That makes sense.
And also
Wait.
respawning the Chinacos from the Hacienda. He sent this card.
Now, to clarify something, is it a Charo or is it a Chinaco? I always get that.
Oh,
They're called Charos, but they're Chinacos, as per the game text.
When they have the guard upgrade, it changes its name to Charos.
Oh, I see. Thank you for clarifying that. I was very lost when I learned about this unit.
The villagers are exposed.
Very exposed.
I think he could use his dragoons to kite the charros. Just shoot and pull back, shoot and pull back. Could really
Yes,
see the unity
definitely.
work. He should use his dragoons to body block the pathing of the charros. So in terms of unit comp, Genesis team, it's double anti-cav skirms versus skirm, goons, and cav.
Yeah, I noticed that both teams have Skirm Goon. The difference is the Lancer and Team Royal having the musket. So it's a little odd having muskets in a Skirm Goon comp, right?
Yeah,
But we really want Thundermat here to reinforce with a lot of cannons, because that's where muskets really shine when they protect falconets.
Alright, we see two heavies. Wow, that's beautiful. Got a volley there. Good. Using his dragoons to body block the charros. Good use of using the houses, the choke points. Meanwhile, the enemy has sniped down one heavy. The second heavy is down. Oh, it's not down. Oh, it's down. Minimum pop. We have 5 heavy horse guns. Right. The opponents are pulling back. Meanwhile, there is a little bit of raid. Alright. So let's see how doing. I think it's time for the top clan to build more infrastructure in the middle. Stables, racks, outposts. And also the same for Royal Clan as well. We need to take map control. Very good, he's got a TC down here. He's got a lot of line of sight. He knows the intel, the enemy's unit movements. Charles charging in. Oh, Matt is getting surrounded here.
This is key. One thing I must say, I'm very impressed with this Mexican player's unit generation. It seems like he constantly has a massive amount of charros. I don't know if the Mexican economy in the game is very strong with the Hacienda, but he always has a really big mass. And I find whenever I go Lancer, it's really hard to keep up production, because they're so gold heavy and you lose all of them, usually in most fights.
But the trade-off is the villagers working in the haciendas, they will not gather resources.
Oh, I see. Yeah, you're right. He's not stockpiling anything.
You see, he's only got 5 villagers in wood. The rest are all on the haciendas to get all these showers.
Why does he only have 48 bills?
Good question.
Can we go to the count for all the players? What's the Vil count right now at the 23-minute mark? Mexico's with 48. Genesis with 68. Yeah. Yep, that's CDBs.
Same format, 63.
Okay.
83 for the top player, the Portuguese player.
Portugal, okay.
Josh down to 42.
Dude. Yeah, but it's Dutch, so I imagine Dutch has at least 5 banks out at this point.
Right. The shower's just tearing up the skirmishers. Alright, we start to see some walling from Josh.
Yeah.
Very good job. So the shadow's gonna raid so effectively. I mean,
so far Charles are just tearing into everything.
Yeah. Got a lot of ordnance from Genesis. Yeah, if they could wall up their side of the map, then they could deal with this. Otherwise, the enemy will just keep on setting units, sneaking in to raid the villagers. Alright, so the French has revolted to the revolutionary France. Let's see. So his CDB will turn into these units. They have like better attack damage, but they gather resources slower. Shadow sieging down TC. So far, no one has built, like, except for Matt, he built a TC, no one built anything in the middle. I think it's very important. Because it takes a lot of time for the units to walk all the way from your home base to the front line.
Yeah. Oh my god, he's surrounded with Charles on both sides of the wall.
Yeah.
That is so evil. Look at that. Those skirmishers walk between Charo and Charo.
Yeah, he's very clever. He's making use of the walls and the gates to like pop in and out. But still, the opponent is very clever as well. He split the unit into 2 groups.
And now the opponent is using the ice to escape. Look, look. Go up. Yeah. He literally uses the ice to get out of there.
Right.
So far, we see the top clan pretty much dominating the battlefield. Constantly, Team Royal has to be just retreating, walling, trying to find and win the battles where they can. And honestly, I mean, you know, they were all I don't know if the top clan was in voice, but we know that the Royal clan was in voice. I'm sure it's so chaotic. Like, Genesis, get your Dragoons onto these Charos. Skirms, get onto the Goons. I honestly am surprised. I guess could Sweden go any other unit in this comp? Because the Musketeers, the Caroleans are the only unit that feel a bit off here. Like, they, I guess, countered the Charos at range. due to platoon fire. But other than that, they're quite, it's difficult to be the Swedish player here.
Yeah.
What do
If
you
you
think?
need to counter cav, I think the dragoons are better. If
Of course, yeah.
yeah.
Just the
Genesis need to
muskets.
send the H4 cards to get it to 18 range. They haven't sent that card yet. And then, yeah, as you're saying, I think Matt should like switch to cav, and then get on top of the skirmishers.
Sweden going Finn horses is a pretty big dedication. I don't know if that would work.
Yeah, that will work too.
Wow, Charles can beat goons as well.
The goons need to kite. They have like better mobility.
This is a great place for Thunderbat though. He's using that gate to keep all the cavalry at range, and he's eliminating so much cavalry.
Yep.
Like wow, like he's using platoon fire and the Carolean range advantage perfectly here.
Very good.
This is
yeah.
Absolute like resource strain for Team Top.
He's also got
and now,
yep,
finally he's adding Falcons properly to the mix. We see Team Royal, since they've been on the back foot, start to wall and start. Excuse me. Start to sort of form this defensive parameter with horse cannons, walls, muskets, and skirms.
I think if like Matt really wants to stick with Caroleans, he should like use some like trade base. Just right click on the enemy base, use some distraction because they have siege damage. Otherwise, I think he needs to like switch units.
I'm just curious for the folks in chat, how do they feel about this game so far? Any thoughts? Any thoughts on what some of the teammates should have done, or unit choices, or what could have been different?
Alright, we start to see some walls from Matt as well. Very good. It's completing the wall on the other side. Adding layer 2 layers. Nice. Alright, there's a little bit of stalemate. So how's the other team doing? The other team is not walling up. A little bit wall up here, and that's it. There's even a hole. Alright, good. It's starting to build forward stables up in the middle. And I think the royal team also should do the same.
So wait, question for you. When, I understand you play Mexico quite well. As a Mexico player, he's now switching, I noticed, his resources into farming. So does he toggle the hacienda to be food producers then? Or he changes some of them to generate, 10 food a second, essentially.
Yes.
With a full.
Actually, this might be misleading.
Oh.
So,
okay.
For like, if there's no one working on the hacienda, it's like the base value is 0.5 food per second. And if you add villagers on top of it, then this will show all the villagers working on it. So this is not the hacienda itself, it's the total of all the villagers, plus the cows and the sheep, livestock.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
What is the cow doing on this hacienda right now?
So it's generate. So he toggle it to food, so he generates food.
Ah, okay,
Yeah. So if
okay.
you toggle it to villagers, it will also work to spawn villagers. If you switch it to coin, it will get a coin, etc.
Does the and the hacienda can make livestock as well, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, like you don't have to build a livestock pen, you just generate a cow from the hacienda.
Yeah. But
Okay.
you cannot have a livestock pen as Mexico. This is the livestock pen.
Yeah, that's what I meant. So there's no separate building. You can make cows by paying the food cost, and then they can recoup their cost. Like you can recoup your investment in your livestock
Yeah.
by them generating the food that they cost back, which is interesting.
Yeah, but it takes time. It's very slow, in my opinion.
Yeah, 0.17 food a second is quite slow.
Yeah. And you need to sacrifice too much time. You can't like make a cow. Like you cannot pay food to make a cow. You need to spawn the cow. So you need to waste a lot of villager seconds to
Oh,
spawn one
like
cow.
you literally have 10, yeah, vills working to
Yeah,
make a cow. Wow.
yeah, yeah. So a livestock pen, you could like train batches of sheep and cow. That would be better. But for Mexico, you cannot do that.
Here we see Team Royal really finding their groove, because with the walls and the artillery and the dragoons, they're able to hold the Charos at bay. The Charos can't, just charge in and create chaos. And so we find the Charo player mostly walking around, not quite being able to connect with any troops. And the skirms are left by themselves to essentially die. Oh, they're attacking through the gates though, and still killing quite a few skirms.
Because the Charos, they have like a range.
Like a
Yeah.
ranged melee attack, I understand,
Yes.
with the Lancer, right? Yeah.
So they could poke through walls.
It's the same thing as the Chinese meteor hammer, so
Yep.
that's quite good. At this point, the hope for the Mexican player is, to do that. To leave and bait out the skirms to die. And then to come back. Yep, and he's doing exactly what he needs to.
The Chinese team, they lack siege.
Yeah.
Dragoons, skirmishers, and shadows, they don't have like that much siege damage. So they need to make mortars or retards to get through this. And they're they're gathering the natural resources in the middle. It's quite
They're
I think
still...
it's too risky.
I think it's actually kind of smart. I mean, if the other team is walling, controlling the middle, taking the natural res with the higher, yield advantage, this is the way to do it.
Yeah.
Obviously, I agree with you. It is risky, but you have to take the advantage if the other team walls. We've got to take them out.
It's fine to take it, but at least build some towers or like forts.
Yeah.
So you could garrison your villagers.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a huge issue.
Oh, and they did make mortars. They listened to you.
Yep.
Yeah, it's siege.
The Shadows, they're like Lancer units. They don't care. They just smash in and could still wipe out the Koreans. Dragoons assisting Mac here. Good. Taking out the Sharons. So the top team has done a good job. They're placing their fort base closer to the front line. More howitzers. So only the purple player is here alone. What his team is doing? They're just chilling. Alright, let's check Royal's team. 3 layers of walls from Matt. 4 layers from Josh. Okay. I think Royals team has a very solid defense now. Now they need to switch to being the offensive. The Shadows flanking from behind, along with some pure grenadiers. They're not shooting. What are they doing? Alright, that's Wally there. It's also mixing in some of his villagers. Orlington's in purple.
Now, what I find interesting is both teams are meeting again in the middle, per se, to essentially, contest and to fight back and attack. Currently, Team Royal's quite behind in score, but not by a huge margin, but you have to understand this is a really big difference, so to speak. It's 18,000 scored to 21,000. I don't know if you noticed, Eric, what the difference was earlier, but definitely we're seeing that Team Top is still carrying the advantage right now.
Yeah, Team Top has the map advantage, higher score, and I think better unit comp. They have cav, they have skirm cap units, they have anti-cav, they have artillery. But
I completely agree.
They couldn't push through the walls.
I would argue that Team Royal here has the better economy. Because France here has revolted, so he won't get Imperial eco upgrades. Mexico is, constantly, as we talked about, spawning Charos, so he is not building up a resource stockpile. Can we switch over to Portugal on top side? What's his, like Genesis here has 99 vills. We see that Portugal also has 99 vills and is building up quite a bit of a food stockpile. Yeah, if you don't mind, just cycle through the civs. I'd love to see just vill pops. Yeah, so Dutch is at max eco with 52 vills. Mexico's still only at 76. He's not quite reaching his peak vill count. Genesis Yip is at 99. France is revolted, as we know, which is a bit dangerous here. They really have to make something happen with this revolt.
He sent all his villagers up here in the battle, so that's why he's down to, like, no vills.
I thought they were revolutionaries, or he just sent just basic CDVs?
Sort of like a CDV, and they also have ranged attack, better ranged attack.
Oh, okay.
So
Interesting.
Earlier, like, we saw a lot of those villagers gathering from the hunt. He sent all those and then pushed here with the grenadiers, and then he lost his entire mass of villagers.
Then that was a really good play by Team Royal. I mean, they're able to break in to the Swedish economy, which is great.
Very good of using this choke point to block off the shadows.
Yeah, this was very, very smart by Team Royal. They're really using chokes to limit the area damage that this unit can make. There's one thing that folks in chat need to understand is if this is an open map, and it was, and there was no walls, the Charos would get a great surround on all these units. But because of the walls, because of the trees, the barracks placement, the torque placement, the Caroleans are able to maintain their ranged advantage. And Portugal just walked in 4 organ guns to their death. Or 5. Not very good. Yep, so Team Royal gaining in score. I mean, from what I'm seeing here, Team Top did quite an all-in play. And Team Royal was able to hold that push. And so now it's becoming very... The best way to put it is it's become very close to the point where they're going to be able to... If they can keep holding these pushes, and especially with France being at essentially 0 vills, it could be very good for Team Royal. Do you think that France here should have revolted?
I think maybe he got overconfident by the team score lead. I think he should not have revolted. Now he screwed his ego.
I mean, but he still has villagers, right? And he's generating them now.
But he doesn't have any resources to make units.
Like, do they not gather, or they kind of gather weird? Because I was told that they could gather.
They could gather, but they gather slower. And also, when you spend resources on making villagers, you don't have that much resources to spam military units. And then you
and they're also not a good military unit, yeah. Here we see Thundermat's treaty skills coming in to do some artillery exchanges.
A very good Genesis, doing lots of raids, raiding Mexican player and now raiding down south. Now it's Royal's team to raid and harass the other team.
One thing I'm a little confused by here. Genesis, while in the base, did not go for factories. He actually went straight for vills.
Yeah, I think because Dragoons, they don't have that much siege damage. So killing vills is better than taking down a factory. It does more damage though.
And it's also still, under 50 minutes. Not that, killing a factory would be a deeper economic impact, of course. But vills at this point still matter. Like, these players don't have 10,000, stockpiled food or gold. They're still trying to maintain that, difference. So it's interesting to see this priority must have paid off.
Meanwhile, we have a skirmish river fight here between French and Josh.
Wait, let's look at these stats, because I always wondered. A Voltigeur has 33 ranged attack, 270 HP, and 30%. Oh, and then a Dutch has 288 with 36 attack. So the Dutch skirm is better with the cards and with everything.
With 4 cards.
Versus... go to the French deck. I just want to see... I guess... Oh, but he doesn't have Imperial upgrades for his skirms, right? But how does he have Imperial Voltigeurs?
The Voltigeurs are from the guard upgrade in H4 before he revolted. Oh no, Imperial. Oh, Imperial.
Maybe the revolt gives you Imperial skirms.
I think he aged up. There's a card somewhere in H4. He aged up with that, so he's like in H5 now.
So which revolt is this exactly for France?
It's the, if I remember correctly, it's the Revolutionary France, and then when you get that, there's a card somewhere here where you could like send a card and reach H5, I guess.
Good husk switch by Genesis here. He's able to clean up that Voltigeur mass with just a few hussar, causing a retreat. So, in this calm, what do we notice? We notice that the game scores have tightened to almost a dead even lead. After 48 minutes in this game, Team Royal has very much strengthened its defenses, but Eric, look up top.
Yeah.
Look up top. Orange has broken in. The Mexican player is breaking into Josh's base.
Yeah.
And Reuters are not gonna withstand this pain. So the Charles have once again seen contact. Genesis goes to reinforce his teammate. Can I get a yes in chat? If there's anyone in chat, can I get a yes for this attack into the base of Josh?
I think Josh did a really good job on his side. He built like 4 layers of walls to try to hold as long as possible, but still the Charros force siege down the walls. And also very good job for Genesis on protecting Josh here. Yeah, I think it's
So
time
this
for
is
Josh to rebuild the walls.
yeah, it's excellent defense by Genesis with the Portuguese goons. You know Mexico much better. How good is the Salteador here? Should Mexico or the Charo player have followed up with Salteadors? Should he have, followed up with something else? Because his attack was good. He was able to break in. But I feel like just the Dragoons showing up ruined everything. Is there another way they could have made more out of this?
Yeah,
Out
maybe
of this
because he has a skirmisher team player like the French. They should attack together. Then it could work
Yeah.
out for him.
Or even the revolutionaries, like the citizens or whatever, could have stepped into that attack with him.
Alright, very good. He's building some forward racks here. In between
Okay,
the wall
good.
gaps. Yeah.
So France is listening. Wow, they're like listening to us immediately. Oh, never mind. Too late. Oh, we got one artillery foundry up.
Now the French player is teaming up. More support fire to kill the Dragoons. Good, he's using the Dragoons to snare these units. So the skirmisher has a lower damage output when they're in melee mode.
That is smart.
Now Josh's team need to take care of these forward base, otherwise he will be in big trouble.
There we go.
I think at this time, I think maybe Matt could. Oh, but Matt is holding up here. Okay, there's a lot of. That's a lot of organ guns. That's like more than 10. So they're being pushed on 2 sides. Let's check on Matt's team. So Matt is making horse guns to deal with the organ guns. And also Caroleans to shoot the Dragoons. Okay, Josh is reinforcing with his skirmishers. So there are basically 2 fights, one at top and one at bottom. And in the middle,
this is a really tough spot for Josh here because he had to just make Huss to fight Charos, mainly because the Reuters would all die instantly when they came close enough. And Dutch, as we know, Dutch Huss is not a great build. The unit has very few upgrades. I think if you go to the Dutch deck, they only have cavalry combat, right? Just cav, yeah.
Yeah, there's only.
And the Charo, the Mexican player, had like multiple Charo cards. So
And
yeah,
also Sharos get counter cav 1.25.
They counter.
I guess hand
Wait,
cav.
wait. Wow. Okay. So a 700 HP cav that counters cav. Can you click on one of the Dutch hussars? Yeah, I mean, same HP, but yeah, no, I mean, hand attack 64 versus a countering unit, that's tough.
There's also 2 bonuses for Sharos. First of all, they have the ranged, so they always be the first to hit the opponent.
Oh, they have like first strike.
Yes,
that's awesome.
they also have the lance. He has got the lance charge attack. So
does that automatically turn on? Like, like, do you have to do anything special, or it's like you know, that mercenary buckshot attack? Like, it just automatically once in a while it does a big attack.
Yeah, it has a cooldown, so by default, I think it has the charge attack. But once you use it, it will be on cooldown.
Oh, they add artillery.
Yeah.
So France is adding artillery, but Josh is already on top of it with his hussar. But still, the artillery seems to be, wow, very much making effect. This is a very, very good attack by the top clan, and they are still ahead in score. That is very interesting.
And the Sharos has gone in. I don't think he should siege down the factories. He should get the vills instead.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier. They're not yet going for vills. Yeah. Oh, but I guess it's been, I mean, it's been, as we saw, a 50-minute game. I think they are very much looking to end it.
Yeah.
And they've broken into the space multiple times in all directions. So one thing that we do have to give it is both teams have been quite resilient thus far.
The Shadows are trapped in between the gaps, choke points. They couldn't do anything here.
Yeah, I'm seeing that as well.
Right. Meanwhile, Matt has successfully defended, and he's pushing in with his Carillions, charging, right-clicking into Top's clan's space.
One thing I will say, the top clan really needed to wall better, which I do sympathize. The ice made it quite difficult for their base to be walled as perfectly as, say, Team Royal had. But, I mean, as you see on Thundermat's side, he walled around the ice in an odd way as well. So, you know, I think part of it is they just needed to wall properly.
Matt is getting surrounded.
For the first time, almost 56 minutes in, the scores are finally dead even between both sides.
Yep.
And now they're really pushing for a factory. Team Royal wants to end this match at this time. And boom, one factory crumbles. From an already weakened French eco player. Can you go to the French player? I just want to see his res stockpile. What's that look like?
Still got...
I think he has a good amount of resources.
Yeah.
And the Mexico player, can you go to him real briefly as well? Thank you for piloting this. Yeah, he has a very low stockpile since he's mostly been auto-generating Charos.
Yeah.
And then if you look at Genesis, Thundermat, and Josh, their ecos... Oh, yeah, let's follow the action, actually, maybe. But, yeah. We see that their ecos are far better in terms of stockpile, but not a huge difference.
Oh, Genesis got so much food.
Genesis is very much quite, quite comfortable here. And we only know this for, we have seen some post-game, but it's important to reveal the viewers that a lot of resources were tributed in the middle of this. I think it really helps to speak to team games when you're able to cover a certain teammate's deficits, or, you know, when you can sort of like work more cohesively as a team. As I understand it, a lot of Caroleans went into the production of this game, and a lot were lost as well.
Oh, there's a artillery fight.
Oh, hello, Satanaso. We see you in chat. He's asking, why didn't Mexico just go Imperial with Soldado and heavy cannons? He felt that it's a little odd to go only Charo most of the game. How do you feel about that? And also, Team Top never really leveraged Culverins. It just felt like, you know, they were wondering why it's only an organ, gun, and horse cannon fight. Which actually, in retrospect, now I wonder that too.
Yeah, I think for the to answer the first question, I think they want a complete combat triangle. So they have hand cav, they have skirms, they have anti cav. So that's why he's sticking with Sharos. And then for the organ guns, it's because he has invested in this card, the Grape Shot card. So this will give him a faster fire rate, so that's why he's sticking with the organ guns instead of picking culverts.
Yeah.
So he would, theoretically, he should trade better in a cannon fight. But
also, what I find really... Yes,
I agree with the viewer that I think culverins are more effective. Culverins have more range, they could snipe cannons easier, and that'll be more effective to deal with mass horse guns. Yeah. Yes.
Definitely agree.
Yeah.
I find it just interesting with the sea of artillery just in the middle. Let's go towards Purple's base. There seems to be a big push into the base of the Portugal player. Oh, we see Thundermat be able to just stream in Caroleans. Once again, they are not walled.
The purple player still has a ton of resources. Maybe he could like tribute these resources to his teammates.
Yeah, it seems like the purple player is the bank for their team top. And on Team Royal Genesis, both Portuguese players are holding the economies together.
Yeah.
Of their respective teams.
Yeah, very good. Matt splitting his units to right-click at different locations and wipe out their eco zones. Another factory going down. Meanwhile, Genesis is so many organ guns. I think it's not worth it. Castadors might be better here.
Yeah, I mean, often into the late game, it's quite hard to unit switch for the amount of wood involved. But it's still interesting to see this, and yeah, I mean, honestly, the Mexico player has really stuck to one unit. I mean, but to be respectful, so has Team Royal. It's been mostly Caroleans, mostly Dragoons, and mostly skirms by Dutch. But credit to Josh, he did switch into Husk quite a few times. And Genesis also has switched into Husk quite a few times.
We see a Carolean charge here, trying to melee the burning guns. Maybe that wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
Oh, we see a huge charge.
Wow.
How many?
Josh is quite... He wants to 69. Take revenge on Mexico's constant Hussar rushes.
It's hand cav versus hand cav here.
Except one counters the other. This is not gonna look good. I don't think he even kills any vills here.
Oh, I think distraction is the best bet here. So the shadows couldn't reinforce other areas.
God, the Charles are doing so well here. Credit to the player here. Mexico is starting to build some walls on his side.
Yeah.
To sort of limit the choke points.
Or Matt
And actually,
spamming
so is Purple.
racks. Good.
And horse artillery. He is ready to go full musket falcon. Wow, great cleanup by Portugal here on the cannons.
Yeah.
That is multiple horse artilleries just gone.
Also, the Grenadiers, they have like a splash damage. 3.5
Yeah.
splash damage.
I mean, also to be fair, this to a degree was like a 3-on-1 attack on the Caroline horse cannon group, and then Genesis has come to reinforce. But now we really see the scores be quite even. Oh, and Team Royal has taken the lead for the first time in this whole game after 1 hour. Team Royal has a clear score lead on the opponent.
Yep, and also Josh is sinking down the factory. But this factory has more HP than usual because for Mexico, there's a card, Advanced Factory, it adds the HP.
It just adds HP, that's it?
Adds HP gives the tech you research in the factory, they become free.
Oh,
and
good.
Also, it takes like 5 seconds for the car to arrive. Usually a car takes 40 seconds, it takes like 5 seconds. But you need to invest 500 food and 500 wood to send that card.
I see.
Yeah. Let's go. I like to see like for Team Royal, they're building fort bases in the middle, taking map control. I like that. Oh, this cab is gonna wipe this out. And Matt is continuously right-clicking Top's clan space. Alright, we see Purple is out. Purple has done a great job like holding off this section for a long time, alone. Alright, Josh switching to Halberdiers. But I don't think they will be very good against Shadows.
Oh, we see the sacker come out. One player has called it now. Portugal, the main economy of Team Top. After losing factories, multiple vills. And this is the clear end. Well done to Team Royal here. This was a tenacious game. It was an hour and 7 minutes, as we saw throughout. Both sides raided. Team Top took a very aggressive approach. They revolted. They attacked. There was tons of defensive play by Team Royal. Tons of walls, terrible walls here, to show the urgency of which the defense was needed. We saw, Josh reinforce multiple walls, and then we saw Genesis be the bank for his team. We saw the opponents be the bank for the Portuguese team. This was just an all around fantastic game. What do you think, Eric?
Oh, I think yeah, it is a very fantastic game. A lot of walls. There are 7 layers of walls from Josh,
Mm-hmm.
and also yeah, I like the for the Portuguese players, they have like a lot of resources. They're distributing resources to their teammates, so their teammates could continuously spam units. So that's a very good uh, strat there.
Yeah, we see 36,000 for Team Genesis tributed. We see Thundermat has tributed some as well. And then we see on the opponent's team, this is where I think Team Top might have fallen a little bit short. Look at how much unspent Team Top had for their Portugal player, and look at how little he tributed. He only tributed 6,000. He could have clearly tributed some resources to the French revolutionary teammate, so that person could constantly be at 200 pop.
Yeah.
Um, so that's something to consider. And can you go to military? I really, really want to know KDR. What is the kill to death ratio?
Well, Purple got the most kills. I think he did a really, really good job. Like he was alone for a very long time in the bottom.
Yeah, most kills there.
Yeah.
We see Mexico have an amazing, amazing KDR for a Lancer player.
Yeah.
900 Lancers, 1,500 killed almost, 900 lost. Then we see Thundermat have an excellent kill amount 1,300 kills. He did make almost 2,000 troops, the most out of anyone in the game. 1,874 Caroleans. That's a year, 1874. Um, uh, quite a bit lost there. I can understand why they tributed Thundermat actually, quite a few resources. Caroleans definitely aren't cheap, and he did lose the most for his team, being the musket player. Um, it just kind of brings back the question: should he have maybe gone Jaeger? Should he have gone Huss switches? Should he have made more cannons to pair with his Caroleans? Could this KDR have been any better and still provided the same impact?
If he's like as I said, if he sticked with Caroleans, he should have trade base because they have higher siege damage. So the DPS is on the buildings raised instead of like the units killed, taking down factories, taking down town centers. Yeah, he should take this role if he's sticking with Caroleans in late game. So he did his job here, like in right clicking into purple space, into the red space, and etc. Just causing distraction. He did a really good job there.
Yeah, and just for the viewers watching, we actually have two of the players with us, Josh and Apples.
I can't.
Um,
I can't.
Yeah, so I would
Yeah,
like
yeah,
to, hear from
It's
you
helpful.
two. You two were in the
Yeah.
game. What did you guys think?
Can you actually hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Let me check if Twitch can. Yeah, we can
because
hear
that's
you.
obviously not my main account. I didn't have the right deck.
I see.
I wanted to go Merc and H5 and just Jaeger, but just decided to Caro spam into their base at that point.
That's fair. That's fair. Did you guys ever feel like after that French Revolution, did you guys ever feel like, oh no, this is it? Or
I know.
was
I was more comfortable after that.
Okay. So it was very short lived then.
Like they needed to kill us in the next 5 minutes after that.
Yeah. So that gave you more hope, per se, after that revolt.
Yeah, the scaling just isn't there with the French Revo.
Why would you guys say that? It felt like for the first half of that game, like the first 30 minutes, your team was constantly on the back foot. Is there like a reasoning behind that? Card choices, build orders, or is it more of a Civ thing? Like Mexico can be more aggressive than, say, Dutch.
Hey, we just got outplayed in the beginning.
Okay. And how did they outplay exactly? Just certain cannon micro, certain big fights?
I honestly can't remember. I only watched the last 10 minutes of that replay.
No worries, no worries. Eric, if you can go to the military graph, maybe we'll see any big fights that happened. Yeah, so I mean, we can see for team stats for Genesis, there seems to be some big ones at the 28-minute mark. And then, yeah, actually, all in all, several big fights happened, but it seems overall that Team Red early on, Team Top, especially around the 16-minute mark, were winning a lot of the fights, but then towards the middle and towards the end, Team Royal was definitely ahead overall. That's interesting.
I think looking back, one of the things I would have probably wanted to do is invest in Huss earlier. At a certain point, I just had no wood to transition over to Cav.
Yeah, we were exactly talking about that. Would it have been better for you to either add more cannons to your Carolean mix or add more
I just needed to
Hussar?
but definitely Huss. I just needed to micro my cannon, which I did not do properly.
I see. Okay. Eric, anything to add?
Pretty much. That's all I need to say.
No, I totally understand. It was a pretty long game, and it was quite late for some of the players. I know for Genesis, he's American, so that game was almost at 4 a.m. per se for American time. So this was quite a late game for Team Royal. So on to actually the second part of the reason we did this stream. And for the sake of this, thank you so much, Thunder Matt, for joining us and giving us your thoughts. Any last thoughts on this game?
No problems at all.
Awesome. So Eric, I'm gonna send you actually a photo of the latest round of 16 bracket. On OBS, is there any way you can do display capture of just this image or post this image per se?
Yeah, I do.
Awesome.
Let's see. Okay. Let me download this. Okay. Adding it.
Perfect.
Can you see it?
Let me check Twitch right now. Folks in chat, are you able to see the new graphic? Yes, I can see it. Perfect. Thank you, Extreme KO. So, congratulations to all of these teams for making it out of the World Cup qualifiers. We see several teams here, all 16 of them, and their relevant pairings. This is the results of the group stage. We had an arduous, Eric, as you know, we had an arduous process, almost 4 weeks long, of just qualifiers across the Americas, Asia, Europe, and now we have this beautiful pairing here. And what's left now is Die Butterblumen from the Europe will face off against Team Hong Kong. We'll have Prince and the Peasants, C2 of Europe, face off against Team Minutemen, one of the top seeds in America. We'll have WWLS from Europe, which is Revnak, Tit, Kanisi, face off against Isak Reborn, which has one of the grandfathers of Isak, Stanley Winston, playing in Isak Reborn. We'll have the Suriname Yankees playing off against Under 123 Poro Dono. And then we'll have Team Alvaro, Facundo, and Mimo play off against Genga Chad. and we'll have Wakanda Forever play off against Imperadors, and we'll have 2 Greeks, 1 Dutch from Europe play off against Team Spirit, and 3 Musketeers will play off against Cart, Paul, and Fair. Obviously, as Team Royal, we are, impartial to some of these teams. We do hate to see 3 Musketeers face off against Cart, Paul, and Fair. All of them are quite, long-time Royal members. So we wish them the best. We wish everyone the best, of course. This is the World Cup. It's one of the biggest tournaments in the Age of Empires 3 scene, and we're really, really happy to reach this far. For folks in chat, we will start having round of 16 games pretty soon. We will release the map pool tomorrow, and we will start seeing games as early as next weekend. So I hope everyone's excited. If anyone has any questions, post them now. And also, Eric, it's up to you. Are you interested in playing some games? If you want, we can end the stream. We can also cast another game. I have a couple of, 1v1s we could cast. What are you feeling like now?
I feel like I want to take a break. Maybe next
No,
time.
of course.
Yeah.
No, of course. That was a long stream, so this was great. But thank you so much for casting this with me on Royal Twitch.
Yeah. Thank you for inviting me as well.
Of course, and thank you to all the viewers. We were up to 20, 22 at one point. So excited to see all of you. We wanted to make this cast a bit more Asia and Pacific friendly. Well, a lot of our casts end up being, during midnight or sleeping time for a lot of the world. So we wanted to make some of the World Cup casts more Asia friendly. And glad we could have that happen. Unless there's anything else, I would say have a good day, folks. And just hang on. Within a week, we'll have some exciting World Cup games come up. Eric, if you have nothing else, let's say goodbye.
All right. Goodbye, guys. Have a nice day. All right. I'll stop streaming.